Welcome to Christy's Bits of Wisdom podcast. I'm your host, Christy. My goal is to help you start your mornings off right by sharing a short story or a parable that will motivate and encourage you to live your best life with God. By using the infinite wisdom found in His Word, you truly can live a life of happiness and peace in Christ. I'm living proof. I hope you'll stick around and subscribe. Also, if you like what you hear, please share with your friends and family so they can scoop up some bits of wisdom for themselves. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. Today is part 2 of how to write a book. And I get tickled when I say that because, like I said yesterday, I am by no means an expert in writing a book. Um, I've, I have some experience. Like I said, I have 5 books of my own, and then 16 that I um, was a ghostwriter on, and then one I co-authored, and one I'm actually working on now with my friend Pam. Um, we're going to be co-authored on that. So I'm not an expert. I'm not a big name writer. I'm not a household name. So take this with a grain of salt. I just wanted to do something that I thought might be helpful to somebody. Maybe you can learn from my experience. And it's free. You don't have to pay anything for my for this. So hey, you couldn't ask for more than that, right? So yesterday I left off with I told you that today I was going to talk about finding motivation. So we'll start there. So it's really hard to write when you don't feel motivated to write. You know, people think that writing is easy. I see this meme all the time on social media, and it says, what my mom thinks I do as a writer, what my husband thinks I do, and what I really do. And, it's got all these different pictures and stuff. And so, it's hard to write, not physically hard, but mentally. Sometimes emotionally it can be grueling if you get invested in your characters. But anyway, and sometimes you just don't feel motivated. Sometimes you feel tired. Um, like I said yesterday, everybody wants to write a book, but not everybody will. Everybody, do I feel like everybody can? Yeah, I do, because I feel like anybody can do anything that they want to do. And I mean that. I'm not a person who says, well, you can't do that because you don't know how or whatever. I feel like that everybody should take a chance on anything that they feel like they want to do. Hey, take a chance on it. You might not make it, but at least you tried. I'll I'll talk about one day about how I tried out for Dollywood Entertainment. I can't sing, I can't dance, I'm not an entertainer, but I wanted to audition, and daggone, I went and done it. I didn't make it, but I did it. So I feel like anybody can try anything. Um, might not mean that you'll succeed, but everybody should try. So if you want to try to write a book, just take these handy hints that I'm handing out here and go with it. But no most people don't realize what exactly goes into a book until they have to actually sit down and start writing, and they just don't realize. And I was thinking most books die in the potential author's mind without the first word ever being typed. And I didn't get that quote anywhere. It just came to me. Yes, I am capable of having intelligent thoughts now and then. But it's true, it, people have an idea and they say, oh, I've got this story. I have this friend, and she actually called me last year, when I was going through my cancer journey, and she said, I have all these stories. She said, I have all these stories, and she's an attorney, and she probably does have some pretty good stories, probably some really interesting stories that she could tell. Um, but she has never started writing them, and I feel bad for her because who knows where life would take her if she would just put pen to paper and get them out. But anyway, I feel like if you can get the first page typed, if you can just sit down and type the first page, then you're on your way to writing your story. Um, but even after you do start, if you write the first page, or if you just write the title, or if you write 100 pages or 10,000 words, There's going to be days when you have what's known as writer's block, and you struggle just to find words, to put on the screen. And believe you me, I've experienced that more times than I wanted to. I hate writer's block. Um, when that happens, I always say, my characters must be mad at me today because they're not speaking to me. um, but I have found that the key to moving past writer's block is just to put my laptop down, just put it to the side and do something else. If I have to go out for a walk, if I have to go wash dishes, clean the bathtub, watch a TV show, anything, or read a book, anything else. Just get my mind off of that, because you can think too hard. You can think too hard sometimes. And writing your story should come easily. It should just flow. When you're we're in the groove of writing, it just flows out. Um, so anyway, eventually, those characters, they'll start talking to you again and you can carry on. um, the fifth thing that I want to talk about is sticking with it. Um, sometimes we all feel like quitting. I mean, how many times have you done something that was hard and a little bit difficult, and you just quit? I mean, I know I have. I've done things, that are like, oh, wow, this is too hard. And I quit. Like, for example, about a month ago, I actually started real estate school. And I did it for a couple of weeks and I quit because it was hard. I told my friend Pam, she was my inspiration for doing that. And I told her, I said, listen, that's hard. And I don't know if any of you guys are realtors or if you've tried that, but daggone, that's a lot of laws to learn. And it scared me. It really frightened me. Do I think I would like doing that? Yeah, I really do think I would enjoy it. And I think I would be good at it. But it scared me. It scared me because that's a lot of laws to learn. So what did I do? I quit on it. I just quit. And over the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, why did I quit? I don't know. But anyway, that's another story. but um, and two, like this podcast too. Um, it's not hard to sit here and talk to people. Um, but sometimes I think, is anybody going to even listen? Is anybody listening? Who's going to listen to me? You know, um, like, who am I? Like, I'm no, like, really, I'm nobody. Nobody knows who I am. I mean, my friends do, but they hear all this stuff on a daily basis anyway. So, who in YouTube world or Spotify would turn this on and listen? I don't know. But then I think, well, maybe somebody who needs to hear it, maybe somebody, who like wants to write a book will find this episode and listen to it, or this week, this series, and maybe they'll find it and it'll help them. I don't know. So I just keep going. And the same is true for writing a book. There's going to be days when you don't even want to pick up your laptop, or you think, what's going to be the point? But you just have to keep going. I'm a big believer, that I really am a big believer that once you start something, you should finish it. Do I allow myself to be defeated? Sometimes I do. I like with the real estate school. I hate that I quit on that, but I did. But anyway, once you start your book, don't quit on it, because it's hard to tell who that story will touch, or who'll get to enjoy that. But anyway, so yeah, there's days, you don't even want to go into your fictional world, because your characters and their drama is just too much. I mean, I wrote two books that were they were a series. They went together, Ultimate Betrayal, and then part two was called Breaking Free. And listen, that was a heavy storyline, and those characters were very troubled, and there were days that it took an emotional toll on me so much that I had to just put it away for like a week. Um, and then come back to it. That's fine. You just go do other things, and when you feel like it, come back to it. But come back to it and finish it. I can't always come back and finish my books. I've never, well, I don't want to say I've never started one that I haven't finished, but I do have a couple of them that I've started and I put them on the back burner because I'm doing something else. But my plans are to finish them, and hopefully, knock wood, I will. um, and who knows, by finishing up, you might be the next Stephen King, or, the next Patricia Cornwell, who, by the way, is probably one of my favorite authors. I love her stuff. I've read her books for years. The next thing that you need to do when you're writing is number 6, after you're done. So what happens after you're done? Well, you have to decide on how you'd like to publish. Do you want to do traditional publishing or self-publishing? Now, traditional publishing is where you submit your manuscript to a company like, you know what, my mind right now, I can't even think, like HarperCollins, I think, is a big company, and where you would submit your manuscript to them. And listen, they probably have thousands and thousands laying around, and yours is going to get tossed in a pile. It's hard to tell when it'll get looked at. That could take years for it to get looked at. Or, you know what, if you're lucky, boom. Or if it's the Lord's will, it could get looked at right away. Um, that's very rare that happens. um, and then there's self-publishing, which is what I do. And that's where you write the book, you find an editor, you find a cover designer, you upload it to Amazon, Apple, Barnes Noble, all those places. And you just look after it yourself. You have to promote yourself. You have to do it all yourself. It's up to you. And there's pros and cons to both of them. I mean, if you have a traditional publisher, of course, they're going to get you out there. They're going to get you, set up with interviews and get you all over the place. And they're going to get you in stores, brick and mortar stores and all that. Self-publishing, it's hard to get in a brick and mortar store because most places don't want to take self-published books. I don't know why. Now they will allow them on their websites. Like people can go to Barnes and Noble and tell them, I had a couple ladies who went to Barnes and Noble in Virginia and said, I want to order Christie's book, Ultimate Betrayal. And they ordered it for them. Within a couple of days it came in, and she went and paid for it right there. But they just won't stock our books on the shelves. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I wish they would, because a lot more people are going over to the self-publishing, that way to publish their books. You own all the rights to it if you do it like that. The publisher doesn't own your book, so there's a lot of benefits to self-publishing. People look down on it for years, but I think more and more people are seeing that's kind of the way of the future. So, also, like I was saying a while ago, your book might lay in a traditional publisher's office for years. And then it might, they might send you a rejection letter right back without even looking at your book. Some famous authors who were rejected by traditional publishers were J.K. Rowling, Stephen King, Dr. Seuss, Agatha Christie, and a lot of other people. I mean, a lot of other people. You can look that up on Google if you want to. They eventually, they kept pushing, and eventually their manuscripts were accepted. But listen, I don't know. I've heard some stuff about J.K. Rowling, how she was like destitute and all this stuff, and I just would rather put it up on Amazon myself and go on. um, but if that's the route you want to go, then keep on trucking, keep on pushing, submit it to different publishers until it gets accepted, and keep praying, and maybe the Lord will let it happen for you. um, but don't forget this. This is the last thing. And see, this is going to end up in 2, so that's good. If you self-publish, you will have to get somebody to do your cover, your editing, your formatting, and uploading to the different sites where you want to sell. Like I said, like Amazon, Apple, Book Nook, Barnes and Noble. There's all kinds of different places where you can, put your book. All kinds of different sites, but you're going to have to pay a professional editor. You're going to have to pay this person to edit your book, unless they're like a really good friend and they'll do it for free. But you're going to have to pay this person for their professional services. And listen, when they do edit your book and when they send it back to you, because what happens is, you'll send them your manuscript, and they're going to go over it with an eagle eye. And they're going to go like, oh, here's a mistake, here's a mistake, here's a mistake. They're going to mark all those mistakes in what's called track changes. And all of those mistakes are going to be over on the right-hand side. And when you see that, don't get discouraged and don't get disheartened. And, don't feel like they're picking at you, because they're not. They're helping you. I would rather that an editor tell me everywhere I've messed up and give me, a chance to fix it, rather than it go out, and be published like that, and then me look like a big fool for, like, people be like, golly, she can't write. So, anytime that I've had, um, um, the lady that does mine, her name is Scylla Webb, and she has her own company. It's called Mask of the Red Pen Publishing Company, and she does an excellent job. Listen, that lady can catch a comma that's out of place. And so she'll do the edit one pass and she'll send it back to me, and I'll fix the mistakes, and then I'll send it back to her and she'll do it again. She'll go over it again, to make sure that she hasn't missed anything, or the changes that I've made are good enough and up to par. So I'm so thankful for her. Like, I appreciate every mark that she makes, because if she can catch it and then I can fix it, that means my book is going to be even more better. So don't let, if you get a manuscript back with a bunch of changes on it, don't let that discourage you. Just fix it. Just fix it and send it back. Trust me, an editor is your best friend. And then when you self-publish, like I said, you'll have to get somebody to do your cover. Now, she does my covers too, because she is super gifted, super talented. But you can get anybody to do your cover. Just make sure that you see their work beforehand. Don't just hire anybody. Don't let one of your friends talk you into, hey, I can design your cover. No, they can't. They probably can't unless they, have graphic design background or whatever. But make sure, that you see their work, you look at their website, see the work they've done before, before you pay somebody to do your cover. I've been happy with every one of my covers. I've just been so pleased with my covers. Scylla has done a great job, and another girl, Tabby Coots, she did a great job on my other books. Um, and then your formatting. Um, like I said, Scylla, she does it all. She's my one-stop shop. She does the cover, she does the editing. I send it back to her. She does all the formatting, and then she uploads it to all the different sites. And she, listen, she's really good to me. She helps me. She knows that I am technically challenged in those areas, and I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't know what to do. So if you can find a woman like her, or a person like her that's willing to help you like she does me, then you'll be so blessed, because she has really helped me a lot with everything, and I appreciate her so much. Scylla, if you're listening, I appreciate you more than you even know. So anyway, that's a simple little two-part lesson on how to write a book, how to get started, how to finish, what to do afterwards. And so on tomorrow's episode, I'm going to tell you, it'll probably be tomorrow and Thursday. So it'll be Wednesdays and Thursdays, because those are going to be longer ones too. And I don't want to cram like a half hour or 40 minutes into a podcast episode. Who wants to sit and listen to something that longer? I mean, that's just too long. So anyway, I'll tell you a little bit of how to market yourself and how to market your book. And like I said, I am by no means an expert. Um, I'm not in marketing. I'm not a publicist. I'm not an agent, but I can tell you what I've done and what's worked for me. So anyway, hope you guys have a great Tuesday afternoon, rest of your day, and I will catch you tomorrow.